folks, how y'all doing? Trent Clark here with Mallett Buildings. We got a good show for you today. We're going to talk about post frame. We got some specials. And look, you people watching, I want to send something out there to you. If you got a topic that you'd like us to talk about, let us know. We'd be interested in finding out if somebody's watching today, you got something special you want us to talk about, you want to hear something, you want some knowledge, you want whatever it may be. Send us a message and we'll put something together and talk about what you want to hear. So today, let's get started. Like every day, we like to start out $500 discount. Military personnel, healthcare workers, educators, and first responders. If you're one of those people, make sure you get your extra $500 off your building. Now, if you want to upgrade to a signature or an elite building, type in cash to a live feed like this and get an additional $1,000 off on your next purchase of that elite or signature building. Okay, so we got a new special out. I think Renee and them started posting this a couple of days back or maybe yesterday. But we got a classic building. Now let's talk about the classic building. What is new on the classic building? Well, it's bigger, better, and our competitors can't even do it. Why? Because we have 2x8 scissor truss. So folks, this is a 2x8 and this is a 2x6. Okay? Our competitors are going to say this is not necessary. But I want you to understand something. From an engineering standpoint, it's 74% stronger in the bending strength of that truss, okay? And it's 175% stronger on the stiffness of that truss. So I would think those percentages is a telltale sign that it's way better than a 2x6 truss. So that's come standard in our classic buildings and in all our buildings here at Mallett. And our competitors can't do that, they can't buy it, okay? So here's the deal. We got a classic building. You get a 30 by 30 by 12 building. You get a 30 by 25 by 12 enclosed gable extension. You got an 8 by 8 by 12 gable front porch. You got two 36-inch walk-through doors on this building. You got a French door, which you could see here on that building. You got one 8 by 18 black roll-up door. That's a big door, or whatever color you want. You got two 3 by 5 windows and two 3 by 3 windows. That's what you're going to get on this classic building here, all for $56,500. Okay. Now, this is pretty much, I think, you know, you could convert this to a house. But I want you to keep in mind, okay, you get 5 on 12 roof pitch, which our competitors are not going to do. You get 2 by 8 ceilings, okay, because you're going to have a vaulted ceiling throughout there. With our 2 by 8 truss, okay, standard in this building. You get the cable retention system in this building. It's a classic building, great price. If you're looking for something like this, call our building specialist. They'll be glad to get with you. Another special, you got a 20 by 50 by 12, call in for that special. You got a 30 by 30 by 12. We got a special price waiting for you when you call the building specialist. And you got a 40 by 50 with that special price this week. Call in for that price. Okay, now we got an elite package going. You got a 30 by 50, a 40 by 50, and a 40 by 60, which you can pick. You get a gable extension free. We're throwing that in, and you get to pick your height. We normally charge a height increase. We normally charge money. We're throwing that in. We're throwing in $17,000 on this package. Call in and get that special price. This is the elite package. No better building out there in the country with all the bells and whistles. You get gutters, control joints, gutter brushes, the whole 9 yards, 6-inch concrete, all that with this building, okay? We're still got this little Cajun Oasis Elite. You know, if you're looking for something turnkey, here you go. You got a 20 by 30 by 12 for $29,999. That's going to come with a basic electrical package, and that's also going to come with a 3-ton package unit. So when we're done with this building, you can turn on the lights and turn on your AC and you're going to get comfortable. All right. Now, don't forget about our referral program. Like we say all the time, you got 200. We're going to give you $200 every buying customer you send our way. After they purchase the building, we'll of course give you the $200. If you do that 10 times in a row, or 10 times in a period of time, it doesn't matter. When you do it 10 times, we're going to give you $200 every time, and we're going to ask you to pack your bags, and we're going to ask you to come stay in this cabin over here, what we like to call the ranch, down the road. And this is, stay here. We got fishing posts for you. You'll be ready to catch some fish. This is the little cabin. By the way, this is a post frame building that we built. And you can see what you can do with a post frame. We've actually enclosed this into a nice little living space. All right, the kitchen's on this side. We don't have any pictures of that, but it's got a kitchen, full bathroom, everything. You can see one of the ponds through the window, and plenty of fish out there to catch. And look, in all these ponds, plenty of fish. And look, Lee Mallett himself is going to cook for you. He does a great job. I think you'll enjoy yourself, and that's just a token of our appreciation to you when you bring us 10 referrals. Okay, so the classic building. Okay, we got 3 buildings here: the classic, the signature, and elite. The classic, of course, is going to come with 2x8 scissor truss 5-on-12 roof pitch. Nobody else can do that, folks. Nobody. Okay, they can't buy it and they can't build it. Okay, it's better. I just told you it's 74%. Stronger in bending strength and 175% in the stiffness strength of that 2x8 truss in this classic building. Our competitors just can't do that, folks. 26 gauge metal, 1 roll-up door, engineered mono truss. If you have wings, we're going to engineer you a mono truss. We don't do rafters, okay? It can't hold that load. That's what our competitors do. All right, we're going to do engineered thing. You got 4-inch, 4,000 PSI microfiber concrete. We're going to talk a little bit about concrete today in a minute. So 4-year workmanship warranty on this building, 130 mile an hour wind rated. Now when you go jump up to our signature, you get everything that the classic gets, but we're going to throw in roof and wall insulation. We're going to throw in 2 10x10 roll-up doors. You do get a 6-year workmanship warranty with this building. And of course it comes everything else, and this building is also 130 mile an hour load. Now you jump up to the elite, the best of the best with all the bells and whistles. You still get the 2x8 scissor truss standard here at Mallett. 10-year workmanship warranty on this building. Way more wood in this building. We're going to tighten up that truss spacing and post spacing to 3-foot truss spacing. That means how far your trusses are apart. Our competitors are going to do 5-foot. We're going to tighten that up to 3-foot, all right? Your post spacing is going to be 9-foot. Our competitors are going to do 10 or 12. So then you get 2 10x10 roll-up doors. 26 gauge metal is standard here at Mallett, okay? Our competitors are still doing 29 gauge. They're going to charge you for an upcharge. Roof and wall insulation, like I mentioned a while ago, you get gutters and gutter brushes. That's $25 linear foot price we throw in for free on the elite package. Let's see, 6-inch concrete versus 4-inch is 2.5 times stronger right there. Then when you add that 4,000 PSI, our competitors use 3,000. That's 33% stronger, okay? Plus we add the microfiber. We'll talk about microfiber in a minute, okay? Let's see, post protectors, insulated windows, continuous ridge vent, wainscoting. This building is 145 mile an hour wind rating. Okay, let's see. Concrete reinforced wire versus microfiber, okay? Synthetic fiber, which is microfiber, benefits the concrete in both the plastic and hardened state. Benefits include reducing settlement cracks, okay? If you use microfiber, which we do, you're going to have settlement crack. It's going to reduce it, okay? Reduce the shrinkage cracks, increase toughness and impact resistance, provide energy absorption. So basically, folks, it's adding all this to it. Our competitors don't do it because it costs money. We have to add that in every yard of concrete that you get. We prefer that method because we're guaranteed that you're going to get the full strength of that microfiber through the whole volume of the concrete. Whereas wire mesh, which most of our competitors use, it's going to be rusty when you get there. That has certain elements that can destroy your concrete internally when you don't even see it happening. Also, the wire mesh, if it's not done properly, can sink to the bottom, which means that you have no reinforcement at all. So be careful of that. All right. Now, Let's see. Why use fiber? I just kind of told you that prevents drying shrinkage crack, finishes smoothly with any surface fibers quickly fading underfoot. So used to, in the old days, they had fiber, which that's kind of you could see in the concrete. Understand that microfiber, you can't even see it's there, okay? It's just little strands in that concrete making it stronger, making it tougher, making it more impact resistant for you, okay? It eliminates needs for chairs to support convenient steel, rebar, and wire mesh. So basically, it's saying that you can use this instead of the rebar or wire mesh, okay? So downfalls of wire mesh. This is what our competitors use, okay? Placement challenges. That's what I was just telling you about. So when you use wire, it's just a thin wire. It's a small diameter. It comes in rolled up, so it's springing up and it's rusty. Okay, so it's going in your concrete, and they have to try to get it in the middle. If you got a 4-inch slab, they got to try to get that thing perfectly lined up in the middle of your concrete to have any type of reinforcement. So when that concrete starts to crack, that wire is holding it from cracking in large amounts, right? So that's in theory. But to actually have that happen, you have to have people that are checking the slumps of your concrete. What that is the thickness of it. And most of the time, these finishers, especially in this hot environment, they're going to want to put a little bit more water, which in fact is going to have that wire mesh is heavy. It's going to sink down to the bottom, which in reality, you don't know. You won't be able to know. And that's one of the factors the reason why we use microfiber. We know that if we put a certain amount per yard, we know that it's mixed very well into your concrete. But when you use wire mesh, you have to, you're kind of guessing. They use it and they pull that wire mesh up as they're smoothing your concrete out, and they're pulling it up. And just think about it. Just like if you have a thick milkshake and you put your straw in the milkshake, what happens? That straw just sinks over time. That's what's happening with that wire mesh, folks. Unless they are really on top of their game and they are not putting extra water in that concrete, and they have a bunch of people there working, so that they can, it's got to be hardening while they're putting that wire mesh in there. That's why most of the time it sinks to the bottom, and you'll never know that. There's never 100% sure that wire mesh is in the middle of your concrete. So to me, it's inferior, right? I would rather use a product like we use here at Mallett to ensure that we're getting that strength, that what we need in the full volume of the concrete. So I hope I've done a little, explanation of wire mesh versus the microfiber, which we use. Okay, and then here's the corrosion risk: rusting over time. If the concrete cracks or the mesh is improperly embedded, moisture can reach the wire mesh, causing it to rust. Well, I'm here to tell you, folks, I've been on a lot of concrete pours, and I've built quite a bit of houses in my time. And I'm going to tell you right now that wire mesh comes to you already rusted. It just does. Every single time it comes already rusted. So that's already done. Corroded steel expands, leading to cracking and flaking of concrete, which weakens the slab structural integrity. So that's happening in your concrete. So at that point, you're hoping that it floated, that it sunk down to the bottom. Anyway, limited coverages, and that's what we're talking about right here. When it's talking about limited coverages, it's only this. It's very, very, the diameter of that wire mesh is like a pencil lead. Maybe a little bit bigger. It's definitely not the size of a pencil. But anyway, it has to get in the middle of that concrete for it to have any integrity or strengthening power of that concrete. So that's what we're talking about when you say limited coverage. It's very hard to place it where it needs to be engineered properly to strengthen up that concrete. We don't like to take that risk here, folks, at Mallett. I think it's shrinking, cracking. Delay support for cracking. Wire mesh primarily prevents cracking from widening, but does little to stop shrinkage crack, and that's true. So think about it. If your concrete starts to crack, you probably got a foundation problem, but it's going to help stop the cracking. But if it's placed properly, okay, that's what you got to worry about, okay. I pretty much covered that. All right, concrete needs is a good foundation. So you do need a good foundation. A lot of people think that the concrete is the foundation. Well, I'm here to tell you the truth. It's not, okay? Concrete is only as good as what it's on top of, the soil that is on top of. That's why we recommend degrassing the topsoil to the clay plan. Get all that topsoil out until you get some good clay to the bottom. Okay, use 60-40 clay mix to come in there and pack that pad in. Expand the pad 5 foot. If your building is 30 foot, we're going to ask you to go ahead and do that pad 5 foot on each side. So we're going to ask you to do it 40 foot, okay? Because you want to give you, when that building is built, the water's going to come down off that building and kind of wash it out. So we recommend all this, and we tell you this, we go over this in full, we explain it very well 2 or 3 times, but when we sign the contract, we recommend this, okay? So realize that concrete is not the foundation, it's one underneath there that's really important, okay? So, like right here, this fella's got, he did a lot of dirt work, but now what we're dealing with right here, in order to get that thing, it wasn't level. So he's going to have to come in here and put something. This is a building that we did. The gentleman had to come in here and put some more clay so he can have a foundation underneath that slab. You can't put fill sand this high, okay? It's just going to fall out. And we need fill sand to get your building to grade. So he had to come in and put some more 60-40 mix in here to get this up higher. All right? Impacts. What can happen if you have a bad foundation? Well, you know, you can have cracks, which you can have cracks with a good foundation, okay? But what I'm talking about is structural cracks. If the foundation is poor, if you got a root underneath there that they didn't get, or whoever did your dirt work didn't get, you can develop a crack. Surface cracks is nothing to really worry about, but when it starts getting unlevel, that's when you have a problem. And that's whenever you might have to cut some concrete out, dig out what's underneath the soil, compact it properly, and pour your slab in that area again. So that's the problem. Now let's go over, I hope I did explain a little bit about your foundation and about wire mesh versus what we use, microfiber. Well, I think what we do is superior, especially in accessory buildings, and or if you're turning that into a barndominium, okay? So if you, like I said before, if you have something that you'd like for us to talk about, we'd like to hear about that so we can make a show about it. But now that that's over, let's get to the red flags. So doesn't it make sense to make sure that whoever you're going to do business with has a proper license? I think it does. If they don't, it might be a red flag. You can find this information out on the Secretary of State. And you can also find out if they have if they're a licensed contractor at the LBC. Also at the LSLBC, you can find out if they have any violations. I think that whoever you're doing business with should be very transparent with you so you can understand if they had any violations and what that was for. Here at Mallett, we don't have any violations. We haven't in 26 years, okay? I can't say that for my competitors out there because the ones I know about all been convicted of violations, all right, and working without a contractor's license. So keep that in mind. It might be a red flag. Do your due diligence. Work with some reputable people, okay? Reviews on the BBB. Check out reviews. We have 500 plus, okay? If that's the best way to find out if a company is stable and in good condition, and or if anybody has had any problems with them. All right, visit the facility. We invite you here. You know, it might be a red flag if you're meeting on the hood of a vehicle to talk about your building. You know, we want you to come to our office. We want you to see how your trusts are built here. We want you to meet the team. We want to show you how we're going to take care of you. It might be a red flag, like I said, if you're on the bed of the truck or the hood of the truck, you know, conducting business. All right. Now, let's see. experience does matter. That's what we're talking about here. All right? 26 years here at Mallett, we're continuing to improve our processes. Every single time we get an opportunity to make the building better for you, we do that. And look, this is what we do here at Mallett. If you're lucky, our competitors are going to do a 2x6. All #1 dry kilt lumber here. Everything that we do is superior to anybody else out there. From our cable retention system, nobody does that. Nobody does 2x8 truss. Nobody puts concrete under the post. Okay, there's a lot of things that we do that they don't do. And they're going to tell you that it's not necessary. But I'm here to tell you, with where we live and even up north, these high winds, it is necessary. Okay? So experience matters. We've been in business for 26 years. We're fully licensed commercial and residential, folks. You can trust us. We have no violations, 500 plus reviews on the BBB and Google. We are a community here, right here in Iowa, Louisiana, is where our headquarters is and our facility is. And we give back to our community locally and statewide. And we give a lot of money back. And we're very, very proud of that. All right? We have 3 styles of building at this moment. We have the classic, the signature, and the elite. All superior than anybody else out there. If you take our leased building, which is the classic, and you compare that to anybody else out there, we are 100% superior than that product. And if you don't believe me, I'd love to sit down with you and talk to you about it. Just from the 2x8 scissor truss alone is something that they can't do. When you add that along with the cable retention system, it's superior. We interlock all of our posts together underneath that concrete, something they don't do. So when that wind comes in, it's all interlocked underneath that concrete. It have to take that hurricane have to take your whole concrete slab up to take your building. All right? Now, remember, we have 3D tools for you to work with. We can help you with placement of your building. Any concerns you may have, we're here to help you with. We've been through all these hurricanes right here where I'm standing. Use our spec sheets. We don't just, I come up here and I talk about it, but we don't just talk about it, we back it up with our spec sheets. We've got the classic, the signature, and the elite. Everything that we do is on that. You can take one of our spec sheets, take it to a competitor, and they're going to be like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And then they're going to try to convince you that it's not necessary. Well, I'm going to tell you it is necessary. It's better. It's stronger. I got an engineered backing data to prove that to you, especially when it comes with the 2x8 scissor truss and the cable retention system. All right, let's go through you got a 20x50x12 classic building on sale, folks. Call in and get that price. 30x30, call in and get that price. You got a 40x50, call in and get that special price. You got special prices. So special, I didn't want to show them to you. I want you to call in and find out what it is. You got this Elite Series building. You got a 30x50, a 40x50, or a 40x60. You pick the size. You pick the height. We're throwing in a gable extension for you on that building. Okay? That's a $17,000 value. We're giving it to you on the Elite package. Okay? All the bells and whistles. You get everything on this building. Cajun Oasis, that's a little 20x30 with the basic electrical package, and you get the package unit, the air conditioner, 3-ton air conditioner in this building. When we're done with this, turn key, turn on the lights, you're cooling yourself off. All right, we'll beat anybody. It's not apples to apples, folks. I'm going to convince we're going to take this off. I'm going to convince Lee we're going to take this off. He likes to put it up here because we want to tell you that we want to get aggressive in pricing your building. The bottom line is this, though. It's not apples to apples. Why? Because they're not even in our league. They can't even come close to being apples. There'll never be apples to apples when you're talking about a Mallett building. I can explain to you why. Cable retention system, 2x8 scissor truss. Nobody else does that. Post protectors. You got 6-inch concrete. We put 4,000 PSI in our concrete. They put 3,000. We put microfiber, which I just explained to you, in our concrete. They put wire mesh. They're guessing. We take the guesswork out. Okay? We want to make sure we do it right. They just can't compare. But for giggles and talk, bring in your quote and we'll beat them by $1,000.